It's Sunday. You know what that means? Actually, Michigan didn't play yesterday. I was looking at my investment portfolio, and I don't have a lot of different investments. Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy, said that years ago. You don't sell your winner to buy losers, and I've been an avid proponent of that my whole life. I bought Yahoo when it was new, Google, Amazon, Priceline, Dell, Microsoft. I bought them all back in the 80s and 90s, and I sat on them, wrote them up, ran into Bitcoin in 2012, I guess, bought a bunch of that with my brother, and we sat on that, and we got into NVIDIA and MicroStrategy and a bunch of other really good investments. But the bottom line, when we were doing our research, is we always looked for the winner, and I don't care if the winner was 100 times more expensive than the second best. We always bought the winners, and that's how we made a lot of the money we made. I love the idea of Bitcoin because it's completely decentralized. It's keeping the bad guys' fingers out of our money. A few years ago, I did a podcast with some friends in England. I talked about the idea that eventually governments were going to start creating their own currencies and be able to track people's expenses, and that turned out about a year later they came out with central bank digital currencies. So I was kind of ahead of these people. But the whole point of central bank digital currencies, what I keep telling people, is that the whole theme behind a central digital currency is that someone is going to be able to monitor what you do with your money. And it's interesting because I just found out recently that USD coin and the European digital currency is actually being what's the word? Let's see. Managed by BlackRock. This $13 trillion investment advisor who also has the IBIT that I've been telling people buy the IBIT, the ETF, but they're managing these central bank digital currencies, and people are like, oh, well, that's cool. You get to use these CBDCs like USDT for free. Allows you to do transactions faster. But the problem is that these entities, they hold the private keys. So if you have an account with BlackRock, let's say, and you're using USDT or USDC or whatever, you're using these digital currencies, you'll get yourself a little CBDC card or a BlackRock digital currency card. It's not out yet. It's going to happen. No one's talking about it, but I'm telling you right now. And what'll happen is the bank will tell BlackRock, hey, listen, these people are on our poop list, right? They aren't abiding by our rules. They're doing things we don't like. Maybe they drink too much Coke. Maybe they're eating too much steak. Maybe they're using too much gas for the vehicle. We need you to scale their CBDC card back a little bit just this week. Teach them a lesson. Maybe don't let them buy food this week. The problem is that they keep telling you that these central bank digital currencies are going to be great because they allow you to have faster transactions. But in what it's really going to do is it'll be a way for the government to surveil the U.S. citizens. They do it in China. They have what's called a credit system in China. So if you say something about Xi Jinping and you piss him off, you say something about the government, maybe you're not happy with the money you're making, you say something bad, they just shut your card off and you don't eat for a week. Or they say your card is only good in the town you live in. So if you want to get gas, you want to drive to Beijing, which is an hour away, when you get there, you're not going to be able to use any of the gas pumps because your CBDC card was shut off. And that's the direction we're going right now. If these scumballs who are running our country right now get in for another term, we're screwed. They're going to limit our speech. They're going to limit our freedom to bear arms. And remember, the Second Amendment, when people talk about getting rid of handguns, the ARs, the assault rifles. By the way, the assault rifle, AR, does not mean assault rifle. It's the name of the company that actually designed the weapon. And I can't remember the name, what AR stands for. Anyway, the point is that, the whole point of the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, was for the people of the country to be able to defend themselves against a tyrannical government. It had nothing to do with anything else. So when people say, we got to let the government manage our arms, bullshit. You don't want them to tell you about managing your speech. Like John Kerry said over there in the World Economic Forum, that we don't want to limit people's speech, but we should be able to limit the misinformation that's on the internet. While the left has been completely giving off false information, the left-wing corporate paid media has been lying to America about Kamala Harris. They want to make sure that Americans don't get any misinformation out there, which means they're going to limit your speech. They want to take our guns away. Why? Because if you take away the guns, then you can't uprise against the government if it becomes tyrannical. They want to do everything that a communist nation wants to do, and they're pitching it like it's good for Americans, and there are a lot of really stupid people out there who are going to vote for this. Assuming the left doesn't skew the election, Trump should win in a landslide, and we should start moving in the right direction. What's that going to do? It's going to give us our freedom of speech back. It's going to make Elon Musk safe. We're not going to worry about losing our weapons. Bitcoin's going to go through the ceiling. MicroStrategy is going to go through the ceiling, and we're all going to make a lot of money. Now, I've been talking about buying MicroStrategy for over a year, and it's up probably 100% since I started talking about it. And I watched a nice podcast yesterday on Bitcoin University, and they talked about if Bitcoin gets to $100,000, they think that MicroStrategy will hit 400. And if Bitcoin gets to $500,000 next year, they think MicroStrategy could go up to around $15,000 because of what's going to happen with what's called an impending short squeeze. People are shorting the stock thinking it's going to go down, and they said it's going to make the GameStop run look like just baby shit change. So my suggestion is continue buying MicroStrategy. I'm suggesting it. I'm not a financial advisor, but I made a lot of really good financial decisions in my life. I've never bought second best. I've never bought the losers. That's actually not true. I own Bitcoin, but I still own Solana. But I would buy MicroStrategy. It hit 220 the other day, then dropped back down to around 200. MicroStrategy is going to 1,000. It's going to 10,000. If you want to get into an investment and sit on it and not worry about day trading it, don't worry about where it's going to go. If Bitcoin succeeds in what they're doing, in 20 years, MicroStrategy will be a $30,000 stock. In 15 years, it'll be 30,000. Pre-split, right? Because they'll probably split the stock several times to generate more money so that they can buy more Bitcoin. So if I were buying anything, I would be buying IBIT, I'd be buying MicroStrategy, I'd be buying Bitcoin, and I'd be voting for Trump for president. Because if Trump doesn't get president, you can kiss your ass goodbye as far as freedom of speech, right to bear arms, and it's probably going to take a significant hit on the cryptocurrency industry. So keep this in mind. BlackRock, JP Morgan, Fidelity, all these scumballs who said, don't buy Bitcoin, it's garbage, blah, 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 while they were buying and they were telling their employees to buy Bitcoin, but they couldn't offer it. These organizations are going to start managing these central bank digital currencies. They're going to work out deals with the government, and when the government says, Jeff or Bob or Mike, they said something that we didn't agree with on X last week. They said something that had to do with the right to bear arms. We're not happy about that. Maybe you should starve their kids for a few days. Shut their card off and say, oh yeah, we're having problems with your network with your cards. Remember, if you don't own the keys to your crypto, if you don't own a cold storage wallet, Ledger, Trezor, Arculus, Ruby, I'm trying to think of all the different cold storage wallets I own. If you don't own the keys, if you have your money on a centralized exchange like Coinbase, like Crypto.com, which is fine. I have some money on there that I use to spend. I don't keep large amounts on Crypto.com. Gemini, these centralized exchanges, they have the private keys. They control your crypto and your money. At any day they could shut it off and say, oh, we're having problems. You're not going to get your money back, or maybe you're going to have to wait a while to get it back. I use the Fold app, and I use Crypto.com to do my purchases. The Fold app allows you to spin a wheel every day to try and win some Satoshis, maybe win a Bitcoin. I use them for that. I use them to do some of my purchases. I'll transfer maybe $500 a month into Fold, and I use that to do regular shopping. But I also get credit with Fold app to be able to maybe win some Bitcoin. I'm all about getting free Bitcoin. And I use Crypto.com because I can instantaneously take some of my cash or some of my Solana at this point, convert it to cash instantly, and make transactions at anywhere, the store, gas station, whatever. But by keeping my Bitcoin and my Solana, when I take my paycheck and put it into Bitcoin or Solana, mostly Bitcoin, I get the benefits of riding Bitcoin up, while I'm also able to convert it to cash and be able to use it to buy stuff. And then any extra Bitcoin I get, I put it in my cold storage so that it doesn't get lost. So if I run out of money on my Bitcoin, my Crypto.com account or my Fold account, I transfer money into the account. I buy Bitcoin. I let it sit there. When I need to make a transaction, I just click what's called a top-up button, put money on my card, and I use it for my transactions. Otherwise, I'm all in on crypto. What's the theme today? Buy Bitcoin, buy MicroStrategy, buy the winners, buy NVIDIA, buy the IBIT. These are all going up. All right. IBIT's going to make a run. MicroStrategy is a safe bet. We're going to start writing covered calls on IBIT. We're going to start writing covered calls on MicroStrategy. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing time. Vote for Trump. get Kamala Harris and Tampon Tim the hell out of. Don't even give them an opportunity. Matter of fact, they shouldn't even have any chance of winning the election, because when she was on that brainless bullshit show the other day, The View, and she was asked, what would you do differently, than Joe Biden? She said, I can't think of anything I would do differently. All the decisions he's made, I've made along with him. I mean, basically, he had a 30% approval rating when they threw him out and brought the cackler in. And if she's saying that she has the same policies as Biden, she should have no chance of winning this election. So if the left doesn't pull some garbage BS and skew the election, steal the election, this should be a landslide victory, and you can expect to see MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, NVIDIA, IBIT, all of these things just soar in 2025. Take your coffee money, take your beer money, I don't drink. Take your cigarette money, I don't smoke. Take your fun money and buy IBIT, buy MicroStrategy, buy Bitcoin, and enjoy the ride. This is going to be amazing. Next year, I'm going to bring this video back, and we're going to talk about what I said you should have done, and we're going to find out if you really did it. Bitcoin is going to be a winner. I don't know what else to say about it. Crypto noobs. Michigan plays next weekend. They're going to get their asses kicked, but I'm still a Michigan fan. Crypto noobs, I'm out.